Something missing. There must be something here. Huh? Okay guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is a big day. It's a day that many of you have been waiting for a very long time. That's right, we're going to get back on the CAT. So last video was sometime last year. I think the last full video on the CAT could have been like July or something last year, and did do the egg excavator challenge sometime after that, but it hasn't been forgotten. I have been working on it. I just hit a couple of roadblocks at it, but I'm glad to say we've now gotten over a few of those, so I'm going to get into it. Some of this footage now begins in October of 2021, but we'll just run through the whole thing and I'm going to bring you up to date on everything that's happened. So enjoy it guys. If you're new around here, consider subscribing to the channel. Once you watch the video, if you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment if you like what you saw. Okay guys, let's get going. Alright, weather conditions aren't great down here this morning, so I haven't filmed much because of the wind noise. So there are the connections onto the quick hitch. Held in place up here and taking them all the way back. Now a lot of this pipe work is already there, but just had to pull it out of where it was and redirect it. So I'll take you around the other side now and up on top in a second and show you the connections. Before we go up there, that's the valve block. So 4 connections, the pressure line, tank return, and then A and B out to the ram on the quick hitch. And there is an electrical connection here then. So I've got the connector to go on there, so it's just going to be a ground and supply. I need to figure out which is which, but we'll do that. Excuse me, I got a sore throat today. Yeah, I have taken a test. It's not COVID, luckily, but yeah, so I get this thing mounted up and we'll do the electrical connection and once she's in place and plumbed. Okay, the weather has really turned to shit now, so I'm gonna keep this brief. It's connected there, so it's shown already all the way back on the boom. Get back here, and there's our valve block for it. So I just need to make up the electrical connection and we'll give it a fuse supply from push switch in the cab. So it's off the return and there's a connection out there in the valve block. I'm not even sure if it's the correct one. It's where the quick hitch, the quick hitch return was connected here and it was going all the way out the boom, and the other one was connected onto the valve block. So I don't know where the actual valve lift, it could have been stuck out in the boom somewhere for all I know, but this is the replacement, so I just make the electrical connection to that and hopefully that'll work. But I'm gonna head it back to the workshop for now because it's just misery down here. It's too wet. Big crap, it is absolutely miserable out there today. So got rained off working on the machine outdoors, but before I did, I managed to drill out the broken hinges on the machine, and I've brought the door home with me. This door was thrown beside the storage container, so I need to drill out the broken remains on this side. Other good news is one of the guys in the yard pointed me in the direction of one of the sheds down there, and there's a large side panel for the same side as this door, and it's absolutely immaculate. It looks like it's spent all its life since the machine's been here, stored under cover. So it's rust free, straight. So we'll give that a quick wash just to get the sawdust off it and get it on the machine as well. So get this drilled out, and when I finish drilling this out, I'm going to try and prime this baby. So that will be coming to you shortly in a video, but try and get the fuel system primed up and get it ready to fire tomorrow. Okay, found these total length out of a chain that was on the floor of the workshop, and they fit these hinge pins absolutely perfectly for these hinges. So drilled out the original material that was inside these, put these in. Now we'll try and lift up the door and use that rope suspended on one side, and we'll see if we can drop it into position, close this cab up for winter. Right. So that we're gonna go and get a loader, do this the easy way. It certainly looks a lot more respectable than it used to look. That panel was actually sitting inside in a building, lovely and dry, so that's absolutely perfect. Got the door on there. It's still not quite sitting right in the hinges. I need my big hammer just to manipulate it down a little bit, but I don't have it with me. So all that I've left really now is to get a lower window for the cab. I'll just get some perspex and try and straighten out that toolbox on the other side. And we can do a little more cleaning up after a while, but at least if it has to spend the winter outside, it'll be dry. Okay, so I met the furry resident that's living in the cab of the cat this morning. It actually turns out it is another cat, Tabby. So fortunately I'm going to have to displace him. There's plenty of other cabs around here that he can sleep in. So doors on. Final bit of the jigsaw now is to get this closed up, keep the weather out of her for the winter. So I've got sheet of perspex there on the tailgate, so I'm just going to get some measurements and slip it into position, and that should seal her up good enough for the moment. Not the cleanest cut ever, but it'll manage. Just scribed it with the retractable knife, laid it on the edge of the tailgate and broke it. So some of it didn't turn out quite perfectly, but it's good enough for us to be hidden inside the rubbers. So, clean out the rubbers, get them in place. Alright, that's the perspex in place. Cab is pretty much watertight now. You can see that door isn't sitting quite right. It won't latch because hinge pins are a little long. So I'm going to have to cut some of those back. But I'm going to wait till batteries are back in the machine so I can twirl it around, stand on the bucket of the loader like last time rather than straining my back. Side panels in position. I'm going to try and straighten out this toolbox on the door of it, and then we're going to jump around the back and have a look at those rams, see if we can fix the metal pipes in them. I have a plan involving the same compression joints that I used up there on the metal pipe work going to the digging ram, or the bucket ram, sorry. So going to go around back with the caliper, we'll strip the plastic coating off the pipe, get a measurement on it. I think then if we can get compression fittings to fit that, we'll put them on there and we'll put a flexi pipe between the two, and hopefully that'll hold enough pressure to lift that blade. Let's get started. managed to leave all the tripods back at the house, of course, so all I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to wedge a metal bar behind it, between the boom and the back of the box, and I'm just going to see if I can bend it around, close this gap. If that fails, I'm just going to strap it to the back of the Range Rover and just pull on the thing until it goes. So I'm going to stop recording for now, show you the result after. This thing you go, and to drive. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah. Go and have a look. Yeah, it's sprung back a little bit again, so I'm going to give it another pull. I'm just conscious of this hook and my windows. I really don't want to end up putting it through the through a window or something, so I'm going to give it another little tug there to see what happens. Keeps springing back, so I'm going to leave the tension on it for a minute and try and manipulate the thing a little bit, see if I can get it to stay in position. Alright, I've jacked it up pretty much, well, slightly over the level of the steel behind it, just to allow it to fall a bit as I pull on it. Just attach this little safety line here as well, so a hook can't hit the Range Rover if it decides to come off. So I'm just going to give it another little tug now, see if we can get her back into shape. It looks a lot neater. That looks a lot better, but we're going to have to bring the port of power down here the next day and just try and straighten it a bit more. At the moment now I've got a jack behind the toolbox, so I'd imagine when I release the pressure it'll probably spring back, so I need to get the port of power in behind it, try and take the creases out. Hopefully that'll sort the problem. Took the door off, didn't even have a hammer with me down here, forgot a load of my tools in the workshop, so I just removed it from the machine, put it in the ground, drove the Range Rover over it. So it'll need a little bit of finessing next time. But yeah, she's looking a lot better now. I'll show you the other. So here's the other side. Door on, the hinges need, those pins I put in need to be shortened, rear covers on. And of course, we're now fully glazed. Starting to look a little bit better. Just trying to straighten that step out of it. Just going to jack it up, and got a block wedged under the back of it there at the moment. I'm going to release the pressure now and reset the jack and just try and twist her another little bit, because she is going to spring back. Okay, so I think we've got a solution to the pipes in the backs of the ramps. This is a piece of that pipe. Nice thick pipe, as you can see. So that's where I tried the JB weld on it previously. So I cut that section out, and I got these. These are 12L compression fittings, and they've got a 3/8 thread in the back of them. So I'm installing 2 of those, and I am putting a flexi holes in between them. So we do that on both sides. Unfortunately, I'm short. They only had 3 of these in stock. They gave me a straight through connector, but the threads are different, so I'm going to have to get an adapter, or else get another 12L when the parts place reopens. I'll try and get one tomorrow. They might even still be open. They mightn't have closed for Christmas yet. But it's pretty miserable out there, and it's dark underneath the machine, so I'll show you the finished product rather than taking the camera in here with me now and messing around. You listening to wind noise and staring into the dark abyss. Let's go. Alright, so I've cut away the pipe there at the rear of the ramp, and on my 2 compression fittings, and made a hose to link out the 2. I've done same on the opposite side. So those fittings are 12L compression to 3/8 for the hoses. So see if these things will hold. Take this off without destroying the trailer. Right, so got the bucket lined up in front of the machine. I've fitted the batteries, checked the fluids, threw some extra diesel in her, so try and fire her up. She hasn't started in a couple of months, so let's see how it goes. So unfortunately our quick hitch is a little bit too wide for that, and the pins are
slightly differently aligned as well. So this bucket ain't gonna work, unfortunately.
So yeah, there it is, one of the most eagerly awaited moments in YouTube in the last 12 months was missed. I got absolutely no video of this thing coming out of its phone. So basically what I did was I got this pretty sturdy chain, cracked off the connections through the blade, closed the valve on the machine, and just lifted it with its own boom and drove it up here. So it came out of the hole pretty cleanly, and only real issue I had was I got a smell of burning as it came up towards this position. So I probably travelled about 150 metres, but I had the thing running for a good half an hour at least anyway. And when I lifted the engine cover, there was just a tiny bit of smoke off the turbo. Nothing to worry about, just a bit of dirt on top of it, so I need to steam clean it. But yeah, there she is. So when I was driving the machine yesterday, I was thinking how nice it would be to have brakes. So remove the brake pedal, and that pin in there that acts on the hydraulic cylinder is stuck solid. So I'm just going to remove the circlip here. I'm going to take off the pedal and just oil it and beat the crap out of it with a hammer. Okay, so there it is. operating freely. So next shot now is just to bolt it back on the machine and try and resist pressing it, because every time when the parking brake was applied, it kept bursting hoses, so I'm going to try and avoid using the brakes at all costs. But if I need them in a hurry, at least pedal will be there. I will try them after a while and I will replace those hoses, but for the moment I just need to be careful, because especially when I'm bringing it over to steam clean it, I don't want it breaking down in the middle of the yard and blocking the whole place up. So that's it. What a miserable day here. Every time I start to try and film something, it starts absolutely pouring rain and I have to take the cameras in to avoid them getting wet. So I'll just wait here a second now, see does it clear, and throwing the cameras out there again somewhere, cover it in plastic, and try and get some shots of this machine actually driving. Oh man, I wish I'd done this on Friday when we had beautiful weather. Let's get a rag, get the water out of my eyes. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a break now in a second, and I will set up the cameras again. I will have another go at getting some shots of this thing moving, and the plan now is to take it just over there to where the steam cleaner is and gonna steam clean all the crap off the back of it, so we can try and weld up those ramps. And we'll just give it a general clean. When I drove it up, there was smoke rising off the turbo, so just want to get all that accumulated oil and sawdust and things from its previous life off it, so I don't set the whole machine on fire, even though I think today it would probably be difficult to do that. Yeah, you know how it's going to keep raining for the moment. I think I'm just going to fire it up and we'll get some travelling shots after. So I'm just going to put this camera out of the way and we'll fire this thing up and drive it to the workshop. Now, everything is reversed in it because I've got the cab turned around, so I have to remember to steer the opposite direction. So I'm going to back it straight out using the forward travel pedal. So I want to turn that way, so I'm going to turn the steering the opposite way. Make sure there's nothing behind me that I can crash into. Alright, and now I'm going to try and go opposite direction. And I'm going to have to look out of my wheel. Reverse steering now. The steering is still incredibly heavy, by the way. There's something wrong with it, so let's try and come on, steer away from that truck, please. It takes quite a long time to respond, and when it does respond then, you're going the completely wrong direction. I'm sure if I gave it a bit more revs too, I'd probably have more power resistance, but I don't want to end up bursting holes in the middle of the yard and blocking up this entire sawmill, so I'm just going to take my time. Okay, she's made her up to the washing point, so this is going to be the soil girl's first wash in several decades, I would imagine. So, let's get going. there she is. Luckily a downside cleaner after her first wash in, I would imagine, decades. Look around the other side there, so the sun isn't blinding it. So it's yeah, it's looking a lot cleaner. And I've just decided to leave her back here because I may not get to welding those runs next weekend, so I just don't want it to be in the way of everybody in the yard. I'll show you the undercarriage, how clean it is now. Now obviously I didn't wash the slew ring or slew motor, and this was the main thing I had to do, was to get this area clean enough to be able to weld without setting the machine alight, which I have achieved. Didn't do the engine bay yet because I wanted to protect things like the alternator. That's what I do, so I left that off. But cab interior got a small bit of weight as well, but it's not bad really when you consider the washing it got. Doors after latching, have to hit the button in the middle of it with a hammer now and a minute to release it because the door isn't sitting quite right. But yeah, so there she is. Starting to look less like scrap, more like an excavator. Nice to see those CAT logos nice and shiny and clean. Tin work still needs a little bit of fettling, but there she is. Okay. So there you have it. It's been a long time in the making. Thanks to all of you who followed this since the beginning. Obviously there's a lot more videos in this thing to come, don't worry, I'm not going to stop there. The next job is to get this blade sorted out and get a bucket on it, we get it back up to the farm and get it to work. But it's I think a pretty big milestone. Sorry you didn't catch it on camera. That was a real screw up on my part, but look, it's just the way things went. That is it. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like what you've seen. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the work I've done to date. So that's it for now, guys. Have a lovely Easter. Catch you soon.